What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Wednesday, January 5th. You see the title, it's not a typo. Got some big news. Congress is actually talking about a new $2,000 stimulus check. They're also discussing potential lockdowns, so I want to give you a fourth stimulus package update there. We know multiple lawmakers are retiring now because they don't want to deal with this constant bickering and back and forth. And we also got news on COVID and the potential next COVID variant. So make sure you stay tuned. Got a lot of stuff to cover today. First off, if you enjoy these daily uploads, do me a favor. Go ahead, hit that like button. But let's get into the update. With more than 800,000 COVID cases yesterday, we saw over 1 million on Monday. We're now averaging over 553,000 COVID cases as a 7-day average. Americans are worried, but so is Congress. This morning, we saw reports from the Washington Post. They reported this morning that multiple senators are actually considering another lockdown here in the United States. They say we need another lockdown. But they also say if we do another lockdown, we have to consider passing another additional round of $2,000 stimulus checks. But that comes on the back end of the lockdowns. We also have to consider passing more for businesses. Here's what we know. Reports are indicating that senators are worried that staying open, as we are right now, is only going to make things worse. Not for the Omicron variant. A lot of experts say this is very mild. We can get through this. It's just a bad cold. And it may as well be. But here's the thing that you gotta keep in mind. Right now, Congress is saying that the Omicron variant might not seem like a bad idea, but the problem, according to health experts, is what if this transforms and mutates? Just like the other variants did. What happens then? This is why senators are extremely worried that staying open is just going to make things worse. So here's where the push for that additional $2,000 comes in. If we see a lockdown, whether it's a 2-week lockdown, a 4-week, doesn't matter. If we see an additional lockdown, and according to reports, and just based off the past history, both Republicans and Democrats benefited from a stimulus check, right? They benefited from lockdowns. Because if you lock down, but yet you give businesses more money, PPP funding, guess what? You just gave the business money, but they don't have the expenses of their employees. So guess what? They're now more profitable. Republicans absolutely love this. Wall Street loves this. Democrats love this because the businesses are still getting money. The employees are still getting money. They're still being taken care of, right? Stimulus checks are still going out. And so that's the discussions at this time is who would benefit more? But that's not it. That's not the only reason why a $2,000 stimulus check is even being discussed at this point. Right now, the reasons why we're discussing a stimulus check to the American people is because more money would have to go to businesses. Well, do you think that in an election year, the American people are going to accept the fact that we have to pay additional taxes to cover the cost of a PPP loan when we just saw hundreds of billions of dollars were taken fraudulently from the PPP funding? Do you think that's going to be okay? No. So, lawmakers, Congress, are going to have to pass additional stimulus checks as well. If we go into a lockdown, PPP funding will be needed, but so will stimulus checks. Now, it sounds like stimulus checks are really being pushed now just because PPP loans are going to be pushed again just because lawmakers want to see an additional lockdown. But we don't know if Senator Joe Manchin's on board yet. We don't know. He said he would not support additional stimulus. This was last year. Who knows if he's still going that same direction because now we see additional COVID cases. But one report this morning did indicate that these new talks on stimulus for the American people and businesses, this couldn't have come at a better time. Not because we're seeing spikes in COVID cases, not because the American people could benefit from a $2,000 stimulus check. No. The fact that this is going to come during an election year, this could greatly benefit the Democratic Party. So, according to reports, this might not happen in January. This could be something that maybe we push for a lockdown in January, but the stimulus checks, the PPP funding, doesn't come until February or March, a little bit closer to the election. Think about that. That's interesting, the way that this was kind of put together. But that's what we know at this time. But let's get into some other news, because multiple epidemiologists have stated that we got very lucky with Omicron. Even though we are seeing record numbers of cases, the cases have not really translated to hospitalizations and deaths. And because of this, they say we're extremely lucky. But they also believe that the next variant will not be as easy. Multiple epidemiologists believe that the next variant will be more severe, it will spread just as fast, but hospitalizations and deaths will follow and will be inevitable. But they do believe that this can be avoided as long as we work together and get through this current wave. But here's what you need to know. Even though all this is being said, France has detected a new variant. They call it the IHU variant. Now, this has 46 mutations, which makes it very similar to that of Omicron. But experts say that it's far too early to predict what this variant might do. So just understand, there's new variants popping up. But at the same time, some are not going to be as severe. Some aren't going to last. Some aren't going to really transfer from person to person. So that's good news there. But just understand, all this stuff is being looked into. When Congress sees that, okay, we have COVID cases spiking, what should we do? Well, experts, the World Health Organization, right, the CDC, Dr. Fauci, they're all telling us different things. So what you need to keep in mind is they're trying to put this all together, but it takes time. And with all the time that it takes to get some of these things done, here's what I can tell you. So far, we have 25 House Democrats that plan to retire from Congress this year. They will not rerun. They're not going to extend their run. They're not going to do that because a number of both Democrats and Republicans want to retire, mainly because, according to insiders, they are mostly considering retirement because of the way things are going. They worry that we could easily see a divided government with Republicans potentially in the House and the Senate and a Democratic president, and this would actually cause a lot of issues, and most bills would not pass. It would almost be an impossibility to get a bill passed under a Republican House and Senate and a Democratic president. So, what I can tell you is Democrats are going to push. They're going to push to get more done. They're going to get something passed. They need to have something passed, because if they don't have anything passed, what are they going to show the American people? They have nothing at this point. You know, the COVID cases haven't come down. They've actually gone up. Deaths under former President Donald Trump and the Trump administration, that was actually less than what we are currently seeing under the Biden administration, right? We haven't seen businesses really just do extremely well across the board. Yes, some are popping up. Things are doing well. Earnings for some of these big businesses on Wall Street are doing extremely well. Stock market's doing great. But is that something that Democrats really want? Really believe in? In most cases, no. And so that's the issue that we're having right now, is some are saying that we have to get more done in order to retain the power in the House, Senate, and the presidency. So we're going to see what happens. But as of right now, a lot of question marks regarding how we move forward. Who's really controlling this? Is it Senator Joe Manchin or is it President Biden? We don't know. But again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all the latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.